Okay, well, thanks for having me today. I always appreciate the opportunity to talk about Central Iowa Waterworks and the good work that our 12 member agencies are doing together. So today I am going to be talking about how we all came together and what we're doing now and in the next several years out to 2050. So, Central Iowa Waterworks was recently recognized by American Waterworks Association for being revolutionary, if you will, in how we're all working together for resiliency and in the regionalization space. But what's interesting about this is that the Des Moines region was doing this for a very, very long time. All the way back in 1934, Des Moines Waterworks and Urbandale signed the first regional agreement, if you will. So Des Moines Waterworks constructed the waterworks as a private company as far back as 1871. And then in 1934, Des Moines Waterworks and Urbandale Water Utility joined forces to produce water and share it regionally. And then West Des Moines also joined that collaboration in 1974. So I like to say that the American Waterworks Association was pretty far behind in thinking that we were revolutionary because this community has been doing it for a very, very long time. So in 1993, there was a great flood. I'm sure that many of you were here for that. I was not. I've only been here for about 18 months. I came here from North Dakota. But in 1993, there was a big flood that, from what I understand, really highlighted the need for resiliency within the region. Um, when that happened, folks really started thinking about um, the risk of only having one regional water treatment plant. Um, and so that's when the Maffett Lake Treatment Plant was constructed, and then it was renamed the L.D. McMullen Treatment Plant back in 2007. In 2017, Des Moines Waterworks, West Des Moines Waterworks, Urbandale Water Utility all came together to propose a regional water utility. So the beginning of Central Iowa Waterworks, but it didn't go anywhere. There was a lack of consensus back then. Then in 2019, Des Moines Waterworks submitted new terms for a regional authority. Oh, good night. And so the pandemic really delayed those discussions. And then Des Moines Waterworks, West Des Moines Waterworks, Urbandale Water Utility met to address the outstanding questions. And then a conceptual framework evolved as the regional model continued. So Des Moines Waterworks signed a founding resolution and then public meetings commenced. West Des Moines and Urbandale Water Utility signed founding resolutions, and then a draft 2080 28F was released. And then in 2023, a final draft of the 2080 was released, and 12 entities voted to become founding members. And then in 2024, CIWW became a recognized entity. On January 1st of 2025, CIWW became operational, and we started supplying water to the region as the regionalized water authority. So what is CIWW? CIWW is a shared governance drinking water production authority. We have 12 member agencies, and they have representation in all facets of treatment, facilities, planning, and wholesale pricing. We all come together to share costs in major infrastructure. So as we build things out, as we plan for the future, we all work together to decide what it is that we should be building and how we should build it and when we should build it. Together, our 12 agencies make more than 22 billion gallons of water per year, and we serve over 600,000 users in the metro area and the surrounding rural communities. So we do have 12 founding entities. These are composed of cities, board governed utilities, and water districts. What I like to say about our board is that we truly are representative of the region. So we have urban folks on the board, suburban folks, and then our rural water districts as well. We have many different voices on our board. When we're making big, hard, difficult decisions together, there might be a farming community voice, there could be a city voice. There are many different voices in those decisions. This map is representative of our service territory. So we might have there in the black, we have our cities and our board governed utilities. And then in the red, that's representative of our rural water districts. As you can see, that territory is quite large. When I first came to Iowa, I met with one of the local officials, and he said that it's really important to show folks where their water comes from. He was new to the community during the flood of 93, and he lived in Urbandale, and he did not realize, because he was out of town, that he would not have water when he came back. He didn't realize that the water from the Fleur Drive plant was sent all the way out to Urbandale. So in this service territory, all the way out to the furthest reaches of our system, they might be receiving water from Fleur Drive, could be coming from the Maffitt Reservoir, the McMullen Water Treatment Plant, AC Ward. There are many different water treatment plants in this regional equation. So our member agencies have many of the same interests. We have shared interests in treatment capacity, water quality, and regulatory concerns. Our model is based on mutual investment, so we all have skin in the game, if you will. All of our members have bought into the debt on the water treatment plants. They have purchased portions of the system, so they all have a share of our large diameter transmission mains, so the big pipelines that move water throughout the community, and then also in the water treatment plants. They also have ownership in the resiliency and redundancy of the water that is sent out into the communities as well. So when we're planning for the future, we all together think about natural disaster, drought. Will we have enough water when we need it? And will that water be of the type of quality that we need for our communities? So regional collaboration brings the best management of water resources straight to the fingertips of our communities. So as we're thinking about, do we build something new? We are thinking together about how much does that cost? Where do we want to build that? And should we be thinking in terms of conservation or building more infrastructure? Does it really make sense for the community to build something, increase our debt, raise rates, those kinds of things? Joining together, we are establishing resiliency. Again, as we're planning our plants and where to place our plants, does it make sense? Can that water get into the core network, which is, again, those large diameter transmission mains? Can we get that water out to our communities where we really need it? And then our member agencies still get to remain in control of their infrastructure. So if you paid your water bill to, say, Urbandale Water Utility or the City of Clive, you're still paying your bill there, and they're still setting their individual water rates. We're also a unified voice in the decisions that we make. Last summer, we had a lawn watering ban. We made those decisions together with our technical committee, and we really analyzed the data, and there were 12 voices making those decisions together. Same thing in how we want to talk about source water quality. There's no one member agency making decisions on behalf of Central Iowa Waterworks. So we do have representation from all of our participating agencies. We have a board of directors that have representation from all 12 member agencies. One member agency has 2 trustees. So in total, we have 13 trustees. The member agency who has 2 trustees is Des Moines Waterworks, because they serve over 100,000 connections in the system. So if we have another community who ends up serving more than 100,000 users, they would also receive a second trustee on the board. When we're making decisions related to debt, only one of the Des Moines Waterworks trustees makes a vote in that decision. We have 2 full-time employees in our office, so we're not overloaded with staff as far as overhead is concerned with Central Iowa Waterworks. I'm the executive director, and then I have an administrative assistant who has a very misleading title. He's incredible. He does really great work. He's just a great person to have in our office. So ownership of drinking water produced by CIWW, we sell water exclusively to our member agencies. We do not sell water to anyone else. So if a community comes and says, I want to buy water from you, I say, I only sell water to the 12 member agencies. I'm not going to be able to do that. We do have some exceptions built into our 2080 for communities that were involved in the discussions but weren't quite ready to make that leap yet. We do charge a wholesale rate to all of our member agencies. So as we set our budget every year, our 12 member agencies work on that budget together. And then when it's set, all 12 member agencies pay the same rate for their drinking water. We do have a narrow scope of responsibility. We hold the water permits, so all the raw water source permits are in our name. We have oversight on the operational contracts. So we have 4 operating contractors who run our water treatment plants: Des Moines Water Works, West Des Moines Water Works, City of Grimes, and the City of Polk City. And then we coordinate the planning and funding for source treatment and transmission expansions, and then again, the wholesale rate setting. We do not replace any local water systems. We don't turn valves. We don't run treatment plants. We don't answer customer service calls related to your water bills. We don't do any of that. And we don't set local water rates. So I might have a water rate to your community, but then your community would potentially have a different water rate based on the infrastructure within your community. Regional water allows for the slower growth of rate increases. So if you can imagine, if every city built their own water treatment plant, the infrastructure cost could potentially be much greater than if every community came together and shared one water treatment plant or building one water treatment plant. So going out looking for water, arguing over water permits, trying to build a number of different water treatment plants rather than sharing one, could increase the cost of water rates much more quickly than coming together and planning on a regional basis. So we do have several committees of our board. This is a great way to ensure that everyone has a regional voice, and when we're making decisions, all of our members are heard. We have our executive committee, long range and capital improvements committee, nominating committee, finance and audit, and technical committee, and our water usage best practices committee. By far, the most well-known committee after last summer is the technical committee. We made quite a lot of decisions about the lawn watering ban that were very well publicized. That committee put in many hours of work, several meetings to really think about how we wanted to message that, what was the right decision to make for the community, and how do we continue to produce drinking water that meets all safe drinking water standards. The committee put in a lot of work last summer, and they consistently put in a lot of work every single month. So where does your water come from? So Central Iowa Water Works has 7 water treatment plants currently, if you count the 2 water treatment plants that are sitting on the City of Grimes facility. So there's a Fleur Drive water treatment plant in the center of town. You've all undoubtedly heard about that plant. That's where the nitrate removal facility is located. The AC Ward water treatment plant is in West Des Moines. That's operated by West Des Moines Water Works. The City of Grimes water treatment facility has a lime softening and reverse osmosis plant. It's operated by the City of Grimes. The LD McMullen water treatment plant is at the Maffitt Reservoir. City of Polk City has a water treatment plant operated by the City of Polk City, and then the Saylorville water treatment plant. Saylorville, LD McMullen, and Fleur Drive are all operated by Des Moines Water Works. These plants have a shared capacity of 125.5 million gallons per day. This map is kind of small, but if you can imagine the little white dots you can see there, are the locations of our water treatment plants. They're they're located around the outside of the metro, which creates a wagon wheel, if you will. That's what builds out the resiliency of our regional system. So as we continue to build our core network infrastructure, again, that's the large diameter pipelines that will move treated water around the metro area and around our member agency territory. Those plants will all be connected to where we can move water as we need to. So if we have droughts, water quality issues, mechanical failure, anything like that, we'll be able to use those plants for resiliency. This is the McMullen Water Treatment Plant. It's on the Maffitt Reservoir. It's a lime softening water treatment plant. The biggest telltale sign of that is the lime pond down at the bottom of the screen here, the lime residual pond. This is the Saylorville Water Treatment Plant. It's a 10 million gallon per day water treatment plant. It's just outside of Johnston. If you drive by it, it's a pretty unassuming building. It's gray, kind of looks like a prison. It's not. Inside of it, there are RO and UF membranes. The treatment technology there removes nitrate. In fact, it removes everything from the water. Sometimes it can make the water corrosive, so we end up having to add things back into the water to make sure it meets all safe drinking water standards, and then it gets back out into the system in a way that is safe and healthy for all of our families. This is the AC Ward Water Treatment Plant in West Des Moines. It is also a lime softening water treatment plant. Something interesting that I have learned when visiting with the operations staff at West Des Moines Water Works is when you open your dishwasher and you see that film on your dishes, that's intentional. I just mentioned that sometimes water can be corrosive. That white film on your dishes is added on purpose to make sure that the water is not corrosive in your systems within your home and throughout our distribution system. So we don't want your pipes to be corroded. We want to maintain a healthy distribution system and systems within your home. So it's actually a really good thing that you're seeing that film on your dishes. So together as a region, we have completed a study showing that from now to 2050, we are going to need 208 million gallons per day. As a reminder, I just told you that we can produce 125.5 million gallons per day. That's if everything is running perfect and we have no drought, no water quality issues, and nothing's going for maintenance, no parts of the plants are taken down, anything like that. Our study shows that we need 208 million gallons per day by 2050. So our member agencies are planning together through conservation practices. How do we irrigate our lawns in a manner that allows for people to have the grass they would like while conserving our treated water for drinking? How do we build out new plants? Currently, the Saylorville Water Treatment Plant is being expanded from 10 million gallons per day to 20 million gallons per day. We are working on a Grimes Water Treatment Plant expansion. Currently, it can provide 5.2 million gallons per day. When the expansion is complete, it should provide at least 8.5 million gallons per day. And then by 2030, we have a planned new West Water Treatment Plant in Dallas County that will produce about 12 million gallons per day. And then by 2050, we have plans to expand Saylorville again from 20 million gallons per day to 50 million gallons per day. So currently, we are experiencing high nitrate concentrations. We have been experiencing these throughout the winter, and then of course into spring. You've heard about this on the news. This graphic, I put it together pretty quickly this morning, so it's a little difficult to see. The purple line is the MCL. So the Safe Drinking Water Standard for treated water going out into your homes and businesses is 10 milligrams per liter. That's the purple line in the middle of the screen. The blue line is the Raccoon River, red is the Des Moines River, and then green is the infiltration gallery. So that series of pipe going through the Des Moines Waterworks Park that you've heard about throughout last summer. For an extended period of time, all three of those water sources were above 10. Makes it challenging to treat drinking water at our Fleur Drive water treatment plant. They did dip down below 10 for several days, and then they've started to rise again. So this graphic shows across the bottom all of the infrastructure that's been invested in since 1992 to create nitrate resiliency. Before 2024, the member agencies together have invested about $353 million in this nitrate resilient infrastructure. That includes the nitrate removal facility, aquifer storage and recovery wells. Des Moines Waterworks did a wetlands project at the Waterworks Park. As you can see, there's many, many things that were invested in. From today forward, we have about $1.2 billion of infrastructure investment from today until 2050. All of that infrastructure is also nitrate resilient to overcome those challenges that we're seeing in the source water now. This infrastructure isn't only for nitrate resiliency, it's to expand our drinking water supply, but the infrastructure will provide nitrate and other source water quality challenge resiliency as well. So we are currently using our supplies that we would be reserving for summer. So last summer, you might have heard us talking about how we're withdrawing from our aquifer storage and recovery wells. We're using our nitrate removal facility. We're withdrawing from the Maffett Reservoir. Those are all things that we anticipate doing during the summer if there are times of poor water quality. We've already been doing those things since the beginning of spring. So this next graphic I have shows X's on the things that we are already using that we don't typically see ourselves using until peak demand for lawn watering. Right now, that's a challenge for us. This morning I came to work and I noticed that the management company was irrigating, and I've never looked at irrigation quite the way I look at it now. It's going to be so critical that we message that people can have their nice green lawns. My husband likes a nice green lawn, but that we can do it in a way that can preserve our water supplies while letting people have those green lawns that they really enjoy having. We've already started messaging and talking to the Polk County Conservation District, the Extension Office. I don't know if you know Dr. Quincy Law and Adam Tomes. We've reached out to ICREA, the Home Builders Association. We're reaching out to as many people as we can to provide educational material on how critical it is that we water lawns responsibly and follow the science provided by Iowa State University on how lawns just simply don't need as much water as people tend to put on them. Last year and this year, our systems have shown a 22% increase in water usage, not necessarily related to lawn watering because we did have that lawn watering ban last year, but simply related to just increased water use. When Central Iowa Waterworks was formed, we did not add any new communities that would use any new capacity. It's just based on growth in Central Iowa. So that was my soapbox, my little stump speech on lawn watering and how incredibly important it's going to be as we enter this summer, that we really message how critical it is to be really thoughtful in how we water our lawns, how we water our plants, and what we can do together to make sure that we are not using water that is intended for drinking and treated to drinking water quality. Something that I didn't mention is that It costs about $20 million for every 1 million gallon of water per day of water supply we build. So last summer, when we asked for our lawn watering reduction, we reduced our consumption by about 20 million gallons per day. So put that in perspective, it costs $20 million to build 1 million gallons per day of drinking water infrastructure. In one day, we reduced our demand and consumption by 20 million gallons. That's a very large amount of money for treated drinking water to use in ways other than drinking. Um, again, it's just such a critical thing to think about. This last slide here has my contact information. That's my cell phone number. You're welcome to call at any time. I'm usually attached to it. My email address is here, our website and social media. And then again, these are the member communities involved with Central Iowa Waterworks. So if you live in any of these communities, you're a proud new owner of a regional water system, and your voice is always welcome, and we're always happy to hear it. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Tammy. We
Yeah,
do have
thank
a
you.
couple of questions in the chat, and feel free to keep typing those in and we will get them asked. First one, out here in extreme northern Polk County, we have water from CIWW. My neighbor wondered about installing a fire hydrant on our line, but we were told that we need a 6-inch line to have a fire hydrant. Therefore, we cannot get a hydrant on the smaller line. What is the solution for that?
First of all, thank you, Lee, for all the work you do. I think you were at Brightside in Altoona the other night. I was there too. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was so good. I was so glad to see you there. We didn't get to chat, but anyways, that is a question for your water provider. That's one of those situations where we don't get involved in the customer service conversations. I wouldn't be able to help you with that question.
Alrighty. Lee also asked, is part of the future solution to water supply in central Iowa the concept of harvesting gray water? So wastewater from sinks, washing machines, dishwashers. I might throw in rain barrel as well.
I love that idea. I am of the mind that all water is reused water. I think that I would even take it a step further and talk about reuse water even from wastewater facilities. I think that anything that anyone can do to not use drinking water for things other than drinking is a great idea. Again, $20 million per 1 million gallon per day to build out drinking water infrastructure. Um, in North Dakota, I was also at a regional water authority, and we had rural water districts there as well. And we always talked about how it's the grandma at the end of the line when you build infrastructure way out there, and all she does is fill her coffee pot with the water, but she's paying for that infrastructure cost for all of the non-essential water uses. When I read your question here, it makes me think about that. You know, if we could harvest that gray water, do all of the things that we can possibly do to take the burden off of drinking water, any of that is a great idea. I know that the rain campaign messages all of these great ideas. I don't know if you guys have messaged that before, but that's definitely something that our communities should think about.
Thank you. We'll give you guys like 10 more seconds, see if anyone else wants to type a question. In the meantime, thank you again, Tammy. That was really informative. And this is going to be recorded once again. So if you want to share it with someone or watch it again, it will be on the Rain Campaign YouTube page. If you can't find that, just let me know, and I'm happy to send you the direct link as well. I don't see any more questions. So once again, thanks everyone for joining in today. And thanks again, Tammy, for being our speaker. And you will hear more about next month's Lunch and Learn in the near future. So thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Go outside.
Thank you.